Seeing a woman work very hard and reach her big goals is a very good thing. There is nothing better than seeing a woman who is successful and has big dreams. However, people are starting to ask a lot of questions about Meghan Markle and her career. They want to know if her show on Netflix was stopped in secret without anyone knowing. Her special show at Christmas time did not go very well at all. It was a big mess that people did not enjoy. Now it looks like Netflix has decided not to make a third season of the show called With Love Meghan. This is very big news that makes people wonder what is next. At the same time, Netflix just stopped the show completely. They decided that they do not want to keep making it. This is a very sad situation for the couple as they try to find their way in the world of television. It shows that things are not going as planned. We have a lot to talk about today. Netflix just stopped everything and ended the deal for the show. This is like a light being turned off. It is a very big change for Meghan. She spent a lot of time working on this show. Now that it is gone, she has to figure out what to do next. It is a very difficult time for her and her team of helpers who worked so hard on the project. Prince Harry is in another country right now and he seems to be having a very hard time. He is acting very sad and frustrated in front of many people. A man named Tom Bower has spent many years talking to everyone who has ever worked with Harry and Meghan. He just said something very mean and direct about them. Even the people who like Meghan did not say anything back because his words were so strong and tough. But this should not be a surprise to anyone who has been watching. The signs that things were going wrong were there the whole time. If you looked closely, you could see that things were not perfect. Many people are now looking back and seeing the clues. It is clear that the project was struggling for a long time before it was finally stopped by the big company. It is a lesson in how hard it is to stay famous. Once you see what was really happening behind the scenes, you will understand why everything fell apart so fast. No one thought it would happen this quickly, but the truth is finally coming out. What we are going to talk about today is very wild and full of surprises. It is a story about how big dreams can sometimes fail in a very public way. Everyone is talking about it and wanting to know the secret details. Trust me when I say that this story is very interesting. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you do not miss anything. Also, please hit the like button on the video. It helps us share this news with more people. We want to hear what you think about all of this drama. It is a very big moment for the royal couple and for everyone who follows their lives in the news. Let's get started with the facts. Netflix has now said for sure that season 3 of the show is not going to happen. The show is not just late or taking a little break. It is canceled and done forever. This news came from the big office at Netflix. They decided that they are finished with the show. This is a very big blow to Meghan's plans for her future in the world of streaming television shows. This is part of a review of an article by a man named Tom Bower. He writes for a big newspaper. He has been studying Meghan and Harry for a long time. He knows a lot about their lives and their business deals. His research is very deep and he talks to many people. He is telling us the truth about why the show was stopped and what is happening with the couple right now. And look, when a giant company like Netflix stops making your show, it is a very big deal. They gave Meghan a deal worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That is a giant pile of money. When they decide to stop production, they do not do it for no reason. It is a business choice that they thought about very carefully. They did not want to lose more money on a show that was not working. Stopping the show is a big statement. It is a very loud message that everyone in Hollywood can hear. This show was supposed to be a big moment for Meghan. It was supposed to be her big return to being a star. She wanted to prove to the whole world that she could build something very important and lasting outside of the royal family life in England. She wanted to be a leader. That message is very hard for her to hear. Think about what this show was actually supposed to be about. It was not just a simple show about cooking food in a kitchen. This was Meghan showing the world that she was starting her own path. She was saying to everyone that she did not need the royal world anymore. She wanted to show that she could stand on her own 2 feet and win. She wanted to build her own kingdom and show her love to her fans. The show With Love Meghan was the first move in a much bigger game. She wanted a lifestyle brand and a special moment in culture. She wanted people to look up to her as a business leader. That was the dream she had in her head when she started working with Netflix on this big project. The show was supposed to be the kind of thing that makes a famous name into a legend. That was the vision she sold to the leaders at Netflix. They bought the idea and gave her the money. They thought it would be a huge success. But then the show came out and the people started watching. Or, as it turns out, the people did not really watch it as much as they expected. Netflix is a company that looks at the numbers very closely. They are very honest about how many people watch their shows. They do not care if you have a famous name or if you have a big team of helpers. They do not care how many magazine covers your face is on. They only care about one thing. They want to know if people are actually sitting down and watching the show from start to finish. For Meghan's show, the answer was a very loud no. The show did not just do a little bit bad, it almost completely disappeared. Not many people were interested in what she was doing. This is a very big problem for any star. If people do not watch your show, the company will not want to make more of it. That is exactly what happened with her show on Netflix. We are going to talk about how bad the numbers really were very soon. Trust me, the numbers are very shocking to hear. They show that almost no one was interested in the show. But the main point right now is that Netflix saw what was happening. They looked at the data and they made a choice to stop. They did not want to keep spending money on something that people did not like. All of this is happening at the very same time that Prince Harry is in another country acting strangely. He seems like he is falling apart in public. He is very emotional and it is hard for him to stay calm. Meghan never really understood that people liked her because she was a royal. She thought they liked her just for being her. Now she is learning the truth about fame. Harry is acting very erratic and it is hard to settle him down. He is a man who cannot seem to hold himself together when people are watching. And many people are watching him right now. His voice is breaking and he has tears in his eyes. He is losing his cool with everyone around him. It is a very sad sight to see a prince acting this way in front of the cameras. Two big things are failing at the exact same time. They are on different sides of the world, but both are falling apart. It is playing out in real time for everyone to see. It is the kind of story that you could not even write for a movie. It is very dramatic and sad. Meghan and Harry are facing a lot of pressure right now and it is showing in their actions. Then there is the man named Tom Bower. If you do not know who he is, you should know that he is a very serious writer. He does not just look at the surface of a story, he digs deep to find the truth. He spent years working on this story about Meghan and Harry. He talked to more than 80 people who worked with Meghan or knew her personally. He knows her story. He talked to people who dealt with her in a professional way. He did not just form a quick opinion based on news headlines. He worked very hard to find the full picture of who she really is. What he is saying right now is the most damaging thing he has ever said. He is being very direct and he is not holding back any of his thoughts about the couple. He described Meghan as someone who wanders around an orchard with a sweater on her shoulder. He says her image is very fake. He is not being nice or hiding his feelings. He is giving his real thoughts and they are hitting like a wrecking ball. This moment is very interesting because so many things are going wrong for the couple at the very same time. The show is gone, Harry is upset, and Tom Bower is talking. All of these things are stacking up and pointing in the same direction. People are starting to ask if any of this was ever going to work out. When you look at what was happening behind the scenes, the answer is very clear. There was a big gap between the pretty picture and the real truth. The show was not landing the way they thought it would. The signs of failure were there from the very beginning. Tom Bower is not someone who just throws opinions around for fun. He is a researcher. You need to understand why his words carry so much weight. Sometimes a celebrity's image does not just slip a little bit. Sometimes it falls and breaks like glass. What he is saying right now is very important. This is not just a person looking at the news and making a guess. This is a man who spent actual years building a picture of Meghan Markle. He found more than 80 people who worked with her or knew her well. He sat with them and asked them very tough questions until he had the whole story. When Tom Bower talks about Meghan, people listen to what he has to say. Right now, what he is saying is very hurtful to her reputation. He said that it turns out she does not have any real talent. That is a very strong quote. He did not say she tried her best or that it was a good effort. He just said the truth as he sees it. He is being clean and direct. Coming from a researcher like him, that is not just an opinion. It is a conclusion based on a lot of work. He thinks the show is over for good. Netflix and Meghan are done with each other. Bower said that the people at Netflix started to feel like something was wrong only 6 months after they signed the deal. That is a very short time. Think about that for a second. The deal was brand new and they had just given her a lot of money. But the people who look at the numbers and the videos were already worried about the project. The person they signed was not giving them what they wanted to see. Netflix did not pay all that money just for a simple show about cooking food in a kitchen. They did not want her to teach people how to fold napkins or arrange a snack board. They saw Meghan as a way to get into a world that no one else could reach. They wanted to see the secret stories and the big royal moments. They wanted content that would make the whole internet stop and look. That is what they thought they were buying for their money. Meghan thought she could give them those stories and be a big star. But Tom Bower says her point is very simple and a little bit mean. He said she had nothing to say. He meant that she did not have any deep or new ideas. There was nothing original in her show. There was no real feeling or special view coming through the television screen to the audience. When the cameras were on and it was time to be real, she was not. She did not have anything interesting or deep to share with the viewers. You can fake many things in show business, but you cannot fake having a good message. Tom Bower said there was nothing deep about what she was making. She had no creative ideas that were her own. The people who worked on the show seemed to agree with him. This was not a person who had a lot of exciting ideas on the set. She was just doing things that were planned out before she got there. Even then, the results were not very good. The real problem is that her star power did not work the way everyone hoped it would. Her personality was supposed to draw people in, but it did not. Tom Bauer says the talent just was not there. Netflix was patient and gave her everything she needed to succeed. They gave her money and helpers, but in the end, they could not ignore the truth. The story behind the scenes was very different from the one for the public to see. Let's talk about the actual numbers. This is where the story stops being